So recently I've been making a lot of Helldivers videos, and those have been doing pretty good. But I kind of wanted to take a bit of a break from like the, like which faction is like the least bad, most, morally good faction, whatever. So we could do something that's like a little more meta and, like not really about the game lore or whatever. Something that I think Arrowhead should also watch. Arrowhead, I hope you're watching this. I've compiled 24 of probably the most requested updates that Arrowhead should include into the game, or that I think will probably even never come to the game. And we will see if Arrowhead actually follows the EdgeLess protocol here, and if they use my tier list here for their actual game development. And if they do, I mean, that's pretty based. If they don't, I mean, that's fine, as long as it's, good, I guess. If I was Arrowhead, this tier list is probably what I would do first, okay? So let's just get right into the tier list. So first up, we've got new mission types, okay? New mission types, right? Obviously, they're going to add more mission types, so that cancels out this one. Low priority, kinda, sorta low priority. I mean, we actually have a pretty decent amount of mission types, and we did get some new ones in, into the Unjust update one. By the way, we're currently in 4.1.1, which just came out by the time I'm recording this. If you're watching this video a year later or something, I guarantee you half these won't even be introduced by then. So Arrowhead, I think you should really pay attention to what's top priority and high priority here. Someone get this to high command, bro. Anyway, so new mission types, I think let's just say quality of life here. I think that's fair, quality of life. I mean, we really don't need more mission types, but I mean, a lot of the repetitiveness of the game is due to there not being as many mission types. I actually quite like the mission types, probably more even than new enemies, maybe? I don't know. It really depends. I mean, a lot of mission types really suck, to be honest, so it depends if it's a good mission type, okay? Like the defense mission type, for example, when that came out, that was such a big thing. Everyone really likes the defense mission type, the 20-minute mission where you're defending your own little base and there's rockets full of Helldivers launching behind you. That's a good mission, okay? That one. Next up, we got free stratagems, okay? When is the last time that we got a free stratagem from, a major order? Because, the last time I remember, I'm pretty sure it was the anti-tank mines. And, bro, we missed out on the anti-tank mines, 3 times, man. By the second time of us missing the anti-tank mines, I was like, come on, man, just give us the anti-tank mines. No one wants the anti-tank mines, bro. Just give us the anti-tank mines for free or something. No one cares about the anti-tank mines. And, to be fair, they're not that bad, okay? They're okay. They're not the best against, well, most things, to be fair, that they're pretty decent against the bots or something. But I think that's the last time we got a stratagem from a major order, and I think that is a crime. We should definitely get a stratagem soon for our major orders and stuff, because they only come through war bonds now and stuff, and it's pretty crazy. We haven't gotten a new orbital, I'm pretty sure, in a long time. I don't even know when we got a new orbital. Have we had the same orbitals all game? Has there ever been a new orbital? Maybe it's a low priority. I don't know. I think that because of how long we've been waiting for an Emote to give us a stratagem, a new mech or something, I think we should get one pretty soon, okay? I think that's a decent quality of life thing there. Okay, performance? Probably never gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, probably never gonna... Okay, look. I think it will improve, and it has been improving with the last 2 patches. So I think they're already kind of working on this. They're already setting this as top priority. Obviously, this is going to go into top priority. Performance needs to be top priority, especially right now. It's really bad. I mean, it's not as bad as it was a couple patches ago, but it's still really bad. So Arrowhead's already on that. They're already doing top priority, as they should be. They shouldn't have even let it get to this point. It's pretty ridiculous, but anyway, we all know it's top priority. A new war bond. Okay, so a new war bond. It has been a long time since we got a new war bond, relatively speaking, compared to when we usually get war bonds. I think we're gonna get a new one soon. This video is probably not gonna get done before we even get a new one, maybe even that soon. But the reason we haven't gotten a new war bond is literally because of the performance, which is top priority, which means that the war bond is lower priority than the top priority, which is performance. Besides that fact, I think a new war bond really, it's not really that important to me. Honestly, I'd rather get a new stratagem from a major order or something than get a new war bond. I mean, I think like the war bonds are really important to Arrowhead though, because that's how they make their money, right? Like to keep the game alive. And so I think it at least should go into quality of life. I don't think it's really a high priority. I mean, I don't know. Like for Arrowhead, I think it's a high priority. I don't know. Maybe it is top of quality of life just because it's like actually pretty important for Arrowhead to do that, and it does have a lot more items than just getting like one stratagem from a mission or something, or like a major order. More ship upgrades. Okay, right now we've been locked at 5 ship upgrades per like category. It's probably been over a year now. I think it's been over a year now for sure, right? It's been like maybe even a year and a half. Has it been? No, I don't think it's been a year and a half, has it? It's been a long time. Okay, it's been a long time since we got a new module for our ship. Should they go past 5? I mean, 5's a pretty good number to stop at, okay, if they wanted to stop. But if they're not going to give us a new ship module, they should give us something to put our samples into besides the DSS, okay? Something good. We don't even have something to put our super samples into yet, so they're just sitting around getting wasted. I think just because of how long we've waited for something to put our samples into, and like the ship modules are really cool and I like them, I think 6 ship modules isn't that crazy of an idea. We've gone a long time without them. Maybe they don't even plan to give us more. I think it's, is it low priority? I'm gonna put it at the bottom of quality of life for right now. I think better communication. Okay, so they have been communicating a bit better lately, again with like the whole performance thing, but they've only been communicating now because they have to communicate. Okay, like they have historically been pretty transparent. They've been pretty decent at communicating. Overall, they've had a pretty good reputation within the gaming community, but they've been kind of losing their reputation a lot over time as they continue to fumble and make the same mistakes over and over again, and communication is one of those mistakes. I think communication is a high priority. You could even say top priority, but again, I think they're working on that a decent amount, and like if they communicate, that doesn't necessarily make the game better. It just kind of makes fans at more ease. Okay, like this doesn't affect the game itself too much. Like the better communication, we should have it, but they shouldn't put so many resources into just communicating what's happening as opposed to those resources like time and money, or you know, whatever it may be, into like actually making the game better. Like just strap yourself down, get the game done, don't say anything, just show us action, not words. That's my take on this. You know, like I don't want to hear you say like, oh, you know, we're not touching the coyote. Okay, we didn't touch the coyote, guys, and then like to play the game at all, you know, the coyote's been sort of stealth nerfed, which I don't actually mind the coyote change. I mean, they didn't really lie. Okay, like they said they didn't change the coyote. They didn't change the coyote, but they changed the interaction from fire on units, which was aimed at the coyote. But it is deceptive. Okay, it's definitely deceptive and not very clear, not a very good communication tactic. To be fair, I don't even really mind the change that much. I don't think the coyote's bad now because of it. It's really not that big of a deal to me. I'm not much of a coyote user anyway. Plans. So back before we got the Democracy space station, people were suggesting that this new like Death Star thing that we were gonna get was gonna have like a hub. Wow. You guys could go into like a giant lobby or something, like it's SWTOR or whatever, and you know, you could like emote a bunch with a bunch of other random Helldivers. And people were saying that we were gonna get clans, which Arrowhead didn't say any of this, I'm pretty sure. People were just kind of like hyping it up, and that's kind of one of the reasons why the DSS felt so lame when it came out, was it was hyped up so much, and Arrowhead didn't really do much to stop the rumors spreading or anything, which kind of goes into communication, I guess. I'm not sure if they're ever going to happen, to be honest. I don't really know if we need clans. I mean, like, they're cool. Like squads, I don't know, some kind of regimen or something. I don't know what you want to call them. I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're ever going to do it, to be honest. I really don't think they're going to do it. Okay, you could say maybe this is a way to spend all of your samples and stuff into your clan. That's a good idea. Okay, that's a good idea. I don't think they're ever going to do it, but I think that's a good idea. Okay, a new faction. Listen, okay, I think we're actually kind of cooking right now with just 3 factions. Like, I mean, sometimes I get a little bored of fighting the same enemies and same missions and all that stuff, but I never really fully get tired of fighting the bugs or fully get tired of fighting the bots, you know? Like, I don't mind fighting the same factions as long as there's like a narrative change, if there's an environment change, if there's a mission change, an enemy change, balance changes. We can do just fine with 3 factions, okay? If there's a 4th faction that gets introduced, I think I will enjoy it, okay? I think it's going to bring a huge boost to the game's player base for sure, like the Illuminate did, and it will for sure be a cool event. Obviously, it's not good for Super Earth, but it would be cool. If they had any more than 4 factions, though, any more than 4 factions, you're way overkill. Okay, 4 factions is already like, we really don't need 4 factions, but like a 4th faction would be a decent welcome change. Okay, I'm gonna put that in low priority because it's possible, I think. Space battles or space combat of some sort. Let me tell you. Okay, so space combat, bro. I know people want space combat, but we don't even see visually outside of our ship space combat. So what makes you think that Arrowhead's going to actually add full-on space combat in general? The least they could do is show other ships outside of your destroyer when you're going into enemy territory. Now, there is a lore explanation for this as to why we don't see that, maybe. The idea, I would assume, is that like the area that the super destroyers hang out in is like a cleared space area over the planet, and then like we have other ships that are protecting the destroyer ships from getting attacked, and so like that's why we don't see any other ships or any like dogfighting going on. But I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see it. I think it's, honestly, I think it's probably never going to happen though. I mean, like if they add like a visual outside the window type of fighting thing, like maybe that'll happen, but like full-on combat, no, I really don't. I think that's like the lowest priority thing they're probably thinking about right now. A bestiary. I've been hearing this more and more lately, that a bestiary should be added to the game. With all the new players that came in through Xbox, everyone was like, oh, we need a bestiary, we need a bestiary. And let me be honest, a bestiary would be cool. We could get some new lore tidbits about like specific units and stuff, and like we could learn more about the factions that way. And so for someone like me who likes lore and stuff, that would be great. And it would also be great for gameplay wise, because it like would show weak points on enemies, or like, you know, say like what type of anti-tank it is, like what type of durable damage you need. And you know, like there should be more also descriptions about like durable damage and stuff like that. But a bestiary, I think it's a low is it quality of life? Yeah, I'd say like bottom of quality of life. I don't think we need it. And to me personally, when I started playing the game, one of the most fun things about playing the game to me is like finding all of the new weaknesses of the enemies. I don't want to be told the weaknesses, right? I want to figure it out for myself. Like when the Worst Riders came out, everyone was like, oh, you just gotta shoot them in the eye, shoot them in the eye, everyone. It's so easy. Wow, how are you guys so bad at this game? You just shoot them in the eye. And I was like, okay, but I swear I used my recoilless and I shot them in the eye like 3 times. They didn't die. But then it turns out you have to shoot them in the crotch, and then they just pop like, I don't know, a champagne bottle or something, which is cool. I like being able to just discover new ways to fight enemies by just playing the game, right? So I think the bestiary is kind of low priority, but if you've defeated the enemy a certain number of times, I think it should be the way this should do this is for the bestiary. It's like you've never seen the enemy, or you've never killed the enemy or whatever. It's like it just shows like a black shadow image, no information. You've killed the enemy once, then it shows like the picture. You kill the enemy like, I don't know, 10 more times, and then it shows like some text and like the name or something, and then, you know, so on and so forth, right? That would be so cool, bro. That Arrowhead, that would be cool. That'd be cool, Arrowhead. You should do that. More emotes and a different wheel system. Okay, I showed Overwatch for the picture here because Overwatch has a decent wheel system. So the way it works in Overwatch is like you can go to the left and to the right, and it'll show like different wheels to the left and to the right. Okay, and then like those different, it'll be like voice lines and like emotes and like sprays and stuff like that. And I think that works. Okay, it's not like, I don't think that's the best system. I don't really know what would be the best system, but that system does work in Overwatch. I think they could adopt a similar system, or what they could do is increase the number of things on the wheel, like the number of emotes on a wheel, the number of commands on a wheel. I think this is very low priority, to be honest. It's really low priority, to be honest. It's really not needed, but it's something that I hear people talk about, that they want more emotes to be on their wheel, they want more commands to be on their wheel, they want, you know, different stuff for that. So I think that's really low priority, but it would be cool. More weapon customization. People have been asking since like the very beginning of the game, we should have weapon mods, customization, all this stuff, right? It's really cool. The weapon customization is really great for the game. It's really good for engagement because like you can like level up your weapons, you can like, you know, decorate your weapons, you can customize them to your liking and whatnot. Even though many weapons, it feels really bare bones. Like it'll give you like a scope change, you know, oh, scope change, oh, I can change the camo, oh man, that's so cool. I mean, the scope change is sometimes really useful on weapons though. Even for like the weapons that have like a lot of customization, like this picture shows the tenderizer. I think the tenderizer, I don't really use it, but I think it has has a decent amount of customization. It has like, you know, the different handles, it has the different barrel, it has like different magazines. I think it has different scope, like the laser and the flashlight thing. So I think it's got like pretty much all the things you would imagine, right? But even after that, even with all that stuff, the customization does kind of feel like it leads you into like one specific archetype of customization. It always feels like you go for like the suppressed barrel that like has the least amount of kick to it, and like either the short mags or like the big mags, or you know, you get like the handle without the laser light on it, you know, because that reduces your ergonomics. And then like maybe you get the iron sight because it increases your ergonomics as well. Sometimes it might be worth just putting on the scope, just lose the 5 ergonomics and you're fine, whatever. But it feels like there's really kind of like not a huge variety of like what would be considered good, I guess, for your customization. That part of the customization I'm not too much going to complain about, really. I just want more weapons to have that level of customization, or more weapons to have customization in general, like the secondary weapons. So I'm going to put this in, I'm honestly going to put this at like, again, like Arrowhead really wants the war bonds, like, because that's where they get a lot of their money. So I'm going to put it like right below war bonds. I think war bonds are cool. They kind of go hand in hand, right? Because it brings new weapons and whatnot. Nice. Yeah, I think that's a fair place to put that. We don't really need it, but it would be nice. More stats on the stat screen, or like in your career profile screen, right? I have said this for a while, but I want to see how many bug holes you close, how many factories you close, how many of like the Titan holes you close. I want to see like how many site objectives you did. I want to see like how many heavies you killed. I want to see all kinds of new information on the end screen. Like there's so much information that they don't show in the career screen, let alone just the end of the mission screen, right? I want to see more of that information, and some of that information I want to see in the Bestiary. Like for example, like how many of this specific enemy have you killed? I don't want to see that on the career screen or on the end of the mission screen. I want to see it on the Bestiary screen. How many like factory striders you killed, how many chargers you killed, etc. That would be great. That change alone would be great. I think it's probably lower priority than like emotes and stuff, but I think it's fine. Reworking the booster system. Okay, there's only like, as you can see in the picture here, you can't see fully, but there's only like 4 to 5, actually I think there's like 6 boosters at most, 6 boosters at most that you might take on a mission, and like it slightly varies between missions on like which boosters you take, which is why there's like 6 of them you might actually take. And then every other booster is completely garbage, left in the trash. Like at most it's mid-tier, at worst it's actually useless. And I think they either need to buff the boosters that no one uses. We use the supply booster, we use the stim booster, we use the stamina booster, we use like the tough terrain booster, and we use the health booster. Like those are like the 5 boosters you might use. Okay, so besides those boosters, we really would love to use all those other boosters, Arrowhead, but they just kind of suck. Not gonna lie, they just kind of suck. I mean, like the extra lives booster I think would probably be like 7th place or something. Like I think that's okay, because sometimes your teammates are trash and you know they're trash, and you're like I'm gonna bring extra lives, bro. I know you guys need the extra lives, man. And the extra lives do come in handy like if you actually die, right? But like the thing is why would you take extra lives when you can take something that prevents you from dying in the first place? Something that like either makes you run faster or has more equipment, or like makes your stim last longer. Like why would I take the extra lives when I can prevent lives from being taken in the first place? And we need more stuff like that. We need the current boosters to get buffed, or a complete overhaul of the entire system. And we probably need some new boosters that would be similar to the better boosters we have right now. Honestly, I'm gonna put this, do I want to put this in high priority? I mean, like, it's really high. Should I just move war bonds to high priority? It has been a while since we have a war bond. Okay, like I've been maxed out for a long time, like a month now, on medals and stuff. I don't want to put everything in quality. Okay, we'll put it at the bottom of high priority, because again, like the only reason I have it this high in quality of life is just because Arrowhead makes their money off of war bonds. And so from Arrowhead's perspective, it makes sense for it to be high priority, and it's also just a good bulk of the content we get as players. Okay, this one I really think is low priority, or probably never going to happen, let's be real, but this is the customization of like passives and stuff on armors. So people for a long time have been saying like they want to look good in whatever drip they want to wear, right? So they want like specific armor passives to be on like this armor, just because like they like that armor passive, but they don't like the armor itself. And you could restrict this to certain weight classes. If for example in the future we have a passive that only affects heavy armor, then you can restrict it to where like, oh, you can't move this armor passive between light and medium armor. You can only keep it on your heavy armors. But being able to move the armor passive to different armors would be kind of cool. I really don't think they're going to do it. I really don't think it's needed either. I also kind of like that you have to look different, and like it makes sense because they love realism so much, I guess, you know, like it makes sense for different armor to have different purposes, right? I think this is a very low priority, and in fact I think it's so low priority that I think it's like probably like top of probably never gonna happen. Enemy balance changes. Okay, enemy balance changes. So we did just recently get some changes to the enemy balance along with some weapon balance changes and whatnot, and one of those things was the dragon roach, which is the picture here. We got the dragon roach because it still sucks. Even after the changes, it still sucks. It still feels like the fire kind of like catches you on fire when it shouldn't. The wings still kind of feel maybe like a little too tanky, even now that they actually can be taken out with the wings. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. I haven't really played against them too much since the update that they nerfed them a little bit, which I don't think they did anything besides changing it. The wings killed them now, which should have been in the game already, and they reduced the spawn of them. Oh, and they also supposedly made it so that the fire doesn't visually not hit you, but then you catch on fire, even though I still feel like that happens. They didn't really change them nerf-wise. I think they're okay, but if we want to talk about just general balance in general, there are some enemies that are still definitely in need of changes. The War Strider was a huge change, huge W. You know, this would have gone way into high priority if they hadn't changed the War Strider and like the Flesh Mob and the Flying Overseer and stuff, all that stuff. Those changes are great. We need some more of those for some specific enemies. I think this is probably low priority, maybe like top of low priority. Although you could say it's maybe higher than even some of these changes here, to be honest. Maybe it is higher. I think I'm gonna put it above the Bestiary, to be honest. I think the Bestiary is less of a time sensitive thing, so I think it goes here. You could even say maybe even goes up here even, actually hold up, especially if they release new enemies. Then I'm sure that's gonna release a whole new can of worms to deal with. They love, you know, like releasing new broken enemies, such as like the Dragon Roach, such as with the Rupture Strain, you know, such as even with the Hive Lords. Even though the Hive Lords aren't even that bad, the Hive Lords are cool. I think they should be that strong. Unironically, the Hive Lords I think are perfect how they are, and I also think for the new mission type we should get like a specific mission where you have to kill like 1 or 2 Hive Lords. Like imagine fighting 2 Hive Lords at once. That'd be so cool. New vehicles. Okay, so new vehicles, we only have like 2 mechs and a car. That's literally all we got for the vehicles. The vehicles are really lacking, and the last vehicle we got was the car, which was, what do you know, locked behind a war bond and not given by a major order, because you know that's what sells the war bonds, right? They got to throw everything behind the war bond, so you buy the war bond, even though you can just farm for it. But I mean, a lot of people probably will just give up the money for the war bond, which is fair, you know, do whatever you want with your money, I guess. There's a lot of stuff in the first game we could get. Like there's the tank, there's like the motorcycle you could get. There's different types of mechs. Like we could get like mech customization. You know what, I'm gonna include mech customization into this vote here. Just anything to do with vehicles, anything to do with, you could say mech customization, you can say new vehicles, anything like that. Okay, so I'm gonna add mech customization to this vote here for this category. So anything to do with vehicles, we need new vehicle stuff. Okay, like I want mechs to be customizable, or maybe just like new mechs in general. I want the tank, I want, you know, like the motorcycle, or maybe like add like some kind of like mongoose type of thing. Anything would be great. Okay, Arrowhead, like we need some new vehicles, maybe even a flying vehicle, question mark, flying vehicle, perhaps, maybe it could happen. I don't know. I really don't think it's gonna happen, but it could happen. I really think this is maybe the bottom of quality of life, because like I think it would be more universal to have like a bestiary or like a ship module as opposed to a vehicle, or even customization of vehicles, just because like you might not use the vehicles, but you're going to want the bestiary, you're gonna want ship modules. I mean, you could say that about the new stratagem thing, but like I'm putting this higher up because I just really want a new stratagem. Could even be a mech, or it could be a vehicle. Okay, like I think this is higher. Okay, I'm a bit biased maybe on like getting a new major order that gives us a strat, but you know, I've been waiting for one. I'm dying for one. Arrowhead, please. Weapon balancing. Okay, so this is a contentious topic, I think. I feel like there's a huge spectrum of people within the game. They like to call each other names like Glaze Diver and Cry Diver and I don't know, like Trash or something, like Level 2 Diver. You can't tell me the sterilizer is good, bro. You cannot tell me the sterilizer is good. It's trash, bro. It's literally like the lowest pick rate weapon in the game, bro. No one uses this. You should have called this thing like dog water, bro. We got the dog breath. This thing's dog water. And you're just like holding down the button, shooting your dog water at them, and then it takes like 30 seconds to kill like a Wilbert, to kill like a little scavenger dude. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but like it is really not that great. Like, why would you ever use this over like just the backpack or even like the gas grenades or the spear gun? Like, there's literally endless possibilities to choose from that is just better than this. Is it high priority? I mean, like, some weapons really, even after the changes they made, they did make some weapons worse. Like the reprimand, I think the reprimand got unfairly nerfed by the drag. I've seen like a graph that shows like the damage fall off of the new drag mechanic they added to the weapons, like the increased drag anyway. And the reprimand, I'm pretty sure, is like the most affected by the drag for some reason. And I really like the reprimand. Okay, that's like my favorite SMG, I think. That's the one I use the most anyway. Even with the drag though, I will say the reprimand is still good. It's still good. I'd still use it. It's pretty great. But like, why you got to do that to my reprimand, man? Honestly, I think I'm gonna put this in high priority. Okay, I feel like this is a high priority situation we're in. There are a bunch of weapons I can think of. Like, you could also say this goes into customization, right? If you want to say that, like, if you want to buff a weapon with the weapon customization, go for it. You know, like that counts in terms of like changing the weapon balance. Okay, so I think weapon balance is one of the most important things to get right with your game, because you want your weapons to feel good, but you don't want them to feel too good. Some weapons, like for example the Coyote, I think that nerf to the Coyote wasn't really that huge of a deal, to be honest. The biggest deal about the nerf to the Coyote was that they didn't clearly state that, like, you know, we did this thing to fire that changed how it affects like the Coyote shooting the enemies and stuff, right? But the Coyote nerf itself isn't really that crazy. I think it's still a really good weapon, but I think like the reprimand, for example, shouldn't have as heavy of a fall off on the drag. Just make it a little less drag heavy, okay? Just a little bit and it would be perfect. Do not touch the reprimand after that. It is perfect. Okay, this next one's a pretty big one that I've wanted since probably like the first month of like playing the game. I've been wanting this. So mixed faction sectors / planets. This is something that I think is really cool. It might be technically hard in terms of like a game dev perspective, I guess, but it's something that I think would hugely boost the engagement of the game, because like, for example, the picture here shows like there's two terminated worlds, but this is a squid sector, and I don't really mind like that idea of like, well, you can have enemies that just like take sectors from each other. Like, that's cool in itself. That idea in itself, I think they should do. I think they could do it pretty easily, and that should 100% come to the game. Like, for sure, that should be added, right? However, what I'm wanting is like full-on enemies are attacking the same planet at the same time. Like, you got like the Terminids and the squids attacking a planet, maybe even have all three factions attack a planet at some point. It could be even Super Earth. You could have like Super Earth attacked by all three factions. That would be so cool, bro. If we could have like a full-on galactic battle over Super Earth, like the heart of democracy 2.0 type of thing, that'd be so cool. For performance reasons, if you want to just keep it like two factions at a time can only be on a world at once, that's fair, that's cool, that's enough, that's plenty. Obviously, I think they would fight each other, but if they don't fight each other, then that would be absolutely wild. The team play that goes off of like, oh, you got like the hunters chasing you, and you got like the chargers charging you, and you got like shriekers shooting up in the sky over you, and you got like the flying oversteers, like, you know, up with the shrieker swarms like shooting down at you. You got your best friends, the chargers and flesh mobs charging together, you know, to kill you. Like, that would be so cool. Okay, that would be so cool. Should they do this? Absolutely. Will they do this? I really don't think so. I think this is definitely higher than a new faction. I would much rather see this over a new faction, to be honest. From a technical standpoint, I think this is going to be difficult to incorporate them, and it would definitely break a lot of missions, I think, if you have different factions, because it would, like, if they're fighting each other, like, what if the bots call in bot drops constantly because, like, they're fighting bugs all the time? Or what if there's constantly bug breaches all over the place because the bugs keep calling in bug breaches because, like, fighting squids? Well, you would probably have to do in that case, for that specific example, simple is like just make it so they can't call in reinforcements on anyone besides the Helldivers. I think you could probably figure that one out, Arrowhead, maybe. I think that's such a cool idea, though. Even if you don't do 2 factions on one planet type of thing, or 3 factions even, at least the idea that like they can take sectors from each other, like the Terminids invading a sector to the left of them, attacking like in an Illuminate sector or something, or, you know, like vice versa. I think that'd just be super cool, because then it's like, well, if you want to take this sector, you got to fight like the bots and the Terminids to take this sector. Then you're like, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. It's such a simple change, but it'd be so different for gameplay reasons, I feel like. And it'd be even further beyond, again, if you add like the multiple factions on one planet thing. New environments. I tried thinking about like what environments would we even add at this point. I mean, I really can't think of like too much. Like I can think of like a bunch of crazy stuff they could do. You know, like for example, for Cyberstan, like obviously Cyberstan needs to be its own specific like special type of like cyber world. You know, like it needs to be unique from the other worlds. It has to be like its own version of like Super Earth, but like cyborg, you know. Yes, we should have new environments and maps and stuff. How those would be implemented, like where they would be put, I think it's pretty low price. I'd say honestly, maybe even bottom of low. I think they're going to do it. They're definitely going to do it. So that's why I'm not putting in probably never coming. Guess it kind of affects like your gameplay and stuff. So it might be cooler than like emotes and stuff, and maybe cooler than stats and stuff. So I'm going to put it right there. I think I'm going to put it right there. Although, but if we think about this from like the game dev perspective, this is like more of a time sensitive thing. So it would be like something you could quickly add into the game besides like all these like bigger things that you might want to add. So you could move it up. I'm just going to leave it right there. New enemy types. This is absolutely one of the biggest things that will increase player engagement with the game, is when there's new enemies, people like to get on to see what the new enemies are so they can fight them. Think of the Dragon Roach. Think of the dare I say the War Strider. Think of the Hive Lord, especially, I would say. These things, and like the Leviathan as well. Like when the Leviathan came out, I think there was a huge amount of people that wanted to fight that thing. Like they didn't even need to know that Super Earth was being attacked. They didn't need to know that the Illuminate had showed up with like other new units besides the Leviathan. They just wanted to kill the Leviathan, okay? And I think that this is honestly, I think this is a pretty high priority thing. Like it's not really needed, but like it really does increase the playability of the game. I mean, is it really high priority? At the moment though, like, do we really want more enemies right now though, as opposed to like any of this other stuff? Like I'd say like we want more missions maybe. Okay, as someone who likes the lore stuff a lot in games, I feel like we get more lore with new enemies, but new missions do kind of have a lot of lore too. Okay, I'm gonna move this down. Actually, we're gonna put this maybe right here. Honestly, I'm gonna move this up. I'm moving this up, bro. We need a new booster system or something. I might even move up. Sure, you know what? I want something in top priority. Let's move communication up a bit. I think that these two things are definitely like right now top priority type of things. Like we need you to be clear with us, to not hide information from us. Like why is it that when you're communicating, like why is it that you show like specific numbers for like weapon changes, but then for the enemies you say like slightly increased durability on like Devastator arms and legs, slightly increase like the health pool of whatever enemy you want to say, right? Like why don't we get the exact numbers for that, huh? I feel like that's really bad communication right there. DSS changes. So yeah, when the DSS first came out, obviously again, people wanted hubs, people wanted clans, they wanted like a lobby sort of system you can go into with your friends or whatever. To be honest, like that'd be cool if they still added that, but like I don't really think that's gonna happen. We don't have anything to put our super samples into for the space station, so I think it should for sure get a new module to donate to for super samples, because you know we've been maxed out on those with literally 0 things to donate those to for like half the game's life cycle pretty much at this point. So I think this is and the DSS still kind of sucks with the Eagle's airstrike. The Eagle airstrike is so bad, bro. I die more to the Eagle airstrike than to the enemies. I swear, bro. The Eagle airstrike is trying to kill me and not the enemies. It'll kill like one Wilbert chasing me, and it's one Helldiver for one Wilbert you killed right there. Like, why are you killing this one like little scavenger dude, but you're killing me? Like, it's so stupid, bro. Like, you need to change the Eagle airstrike priority system a bit, and you need to change like just have it like I can't code or anything, but like I imagine you could just be like something super simple, like if player is within like I don't know, like 40 meters of enemy that you've locked onto or whatever, do not fire Eagle airstrike. Do not fire Eagle airstrike. Do not fire like 3 P80s on top of them, you know? I think this is honestly, it's so annoying. Eagle Airstrike alone makes me just not want to play with the DSS. I think it's a huge issue. I'm gonna put it right here. Maybe, no, I think that's actually, honestly, yeah, they're gonna put the top of quality of life, top of quality of life. That thing is so annoying, bro, and it'd be super great to have new modules or something just for super samples specifically. Oh yeah, and about the ship modules, I heard an idea that like for the next ship modules, you could have it to where like they can like choose like a splitting type of tree ship module. So like instead of having like a ship module that's just a straight up buff to whatever it is, it could be like you have like 2 different ship modules in one category that you buy from, and it's like you could even have it so you have to buy them separately or something, but you can only have one of those ship modules of the new ones like after you get the first 5. So the 6th one would be like something you have to choose between. You could even make it to where like there's only like 1 module per category, like for example like the turret category, and you can only activate the turret category 1 but not the other categories like the eagle one or like the bridge one. You could do it like that so it's not like overpowered if you feel like you're like power creeping the Helldivers, which I think is probably why they haven't released a new module so long. But you could do it to where it's either like that and you only can get like 1 of those modules, which I think is kind of a bad idea because like it doesn't really encourage you to get the other modules as much. Like you could just get whatever you think is the best one and only use that one. But then there's the idea that you could have like a sort of like a branch off thing to where like you can have like 2 different options in one category. Like, do I want my turrets to like have more health or do I want them to do more damage? Something simple like that. I think I'm going to leave it where it is at the moment, but I just wanted to also talk on that. Loadouts, man. People have been asking for loadouts for a long time as well. It's one of those things that just Arrowhead probably knows about, but they just ignore us probably. It would be great if we had at least, at the absolute bare minimum, 3 loadouts, 1 for each faction. But I really think we should get maybe closer to at least 6, because that way you could have like, you know, specific loadouts for factions, but also specific loadouts for like specific missions. For example, like you might want to take heavy armor on the defense mission, but you're fighting bugs still, so you still want like a bunch of fire weapons or something. Like you still want to use like the breaker incendiary or something, you know, like you don't want to have to change stuff around too much. But I also don't want there to be so many loadouts that you don't feel like you ever have a situation that you haven't already pre-planned for. Like I want you to still have to change up your builds and stuff, so you're not using the exact same loadouts over and over and over again, you know? So like I think 6 loadouts is a fair take. Is this higher priority? Honestly, I think loadouts, I think they go like up here even, maybe up here. Yeah, sure. I mean, we're talking about quality of life. Loadouts are like completely tailored to quality of life, right? Like this is a whole quality of life category in its own right. Yeah, I think that's a decent take for loadouts. I think I'm pretty sure everyone in the entire game would have 0 issue with loadouts. And last but not least, we have helmet stats, bro. Helmet stats. This is what we're ending off with, helmet stats. There has been a decent amount of people earlier on in the game that wanted us to have like stats on the helmets themselves so we could like better customize specific builds or whatever, and it would be cool. And the reason I'm showing you this specific helmet, which I think is like the scout helmet or whatever it's called, this helmet secretly had extra stamina and extra speed but less armor to it, and it would have been cool if they left this. It doesn't any longer have this secret stat, but I remember everyone always wore this helmet because like the word got out that there's secret stats on this helmet, and so like why wouldn't you wear this helmet because it has secret stats on it? And it'd be cool like for one helmet, just one helmet to have secret stats on it. Like that would be cool if they left it. For every helmet to have stats on it, I really don't think they're ever going to do that. I think it's like probably like right there. I think it's probably right there. I don't think they're ever going to do that. The fact that they even removed the secret stats on this helmet and I guess quote unquote fixed it, since I guess it was a glitch or something. I don't know how they managed to get stats on this. The fact they removed it shows that it wasn't intentional, I guess, and that they probably don't plan to ever do it. And I think there's way too many helmets to put stats on at this point to where like I don't see them realistically wanting to spend all that time on just helmet stats, you know? You know what? Hold on. I want to change balancing for the enemies to be a little bit higher. I'd rather them balance the old enemies a bit more before they try adding new enemies. like that just makes sense, right? And I'm tempted to move missions up a little bit, but I think loadouts is a bit more universal to where, like, you know, if you hate this new mission, like the new mission might suck, so that's why I'm keeping it lower. If it was guaranteed to be like a super cool new mission that, you know, changes up the whole gameplay of the game, then I would probably put this at like maybe even top of quality of life. But like there have been some missions that just don't really land that well. And so there you have it. I think this is generally what I think Arrowhead should focus on. A lot of the quality of life stuff here, you could definitely argue the placement of these things, but I think overall this is generally like just pretty mid, you know, like kind of mixed together tier to where like it'd be great, but like we don't really need it, you know. We don't need this stuff. It would be great, it'd be, you know, nice quality of life if we had this stuff, but I definitely could be swayed on like the placement of a lot of these more quality of life things. But I think for the stuff that's in high priority, top priority, low priority, and never coming, I think all that stuff I'm pretty set on. Like I think that's where it should be in the lineup here. If we wanted to fully go like with what I wanted and not like an update priority tier list sort of thing, then like this would definitely be a bit different looking. But I think this is overall what Arrowhead should focus on. So I should have some new Helldiver stuff in the works by the time this video is coming out. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.